Just a typical day in IKEA Philippines, you see. So on the 25th of November, the largest IKEA in the world opened right here in the Philippines, which is also today, by the way. I personally, IKEA has been a really big part of my childhood. My parents used to bring me there every week or month. So I kind of have a lot of experience with IKEA. So I would really like to go on a small tour with you to showcase how it compares to the IKEAs I'm used to. Also, I'm Norwegian, so I really have a high qualification for categorizing Swedish things.
I'm sorry to interrupt you like this, but there seemed to be a very important detail that went missing during the production of this video. So by now, I assume that you have probably guessed that I am an IKEA expert. I was born and raised in this store. I was the absolute alpha male of the famous ball pits you find here, where I will occasionally wet myself. And from this is where I have gathered all the skills and experience of reviewing and classifying an IKEA store. So therefore I have derived this scoring system which goes from 0 to IKEA, where obviously IKEA is the highest score. If this IKEA store manages to exceed my expectations, it will get the top rating. If not, we will see about that. Okay, that's about it. Go back to the video.
So to be able to get in here, you need to reserve. So it's a huge queue outside here for people who probably haven't reserved already. The queuing ordeal is far from over.
Get an idea of what the prices are going to be like. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's fairly reasonable. I believe it's almost the same as it is anywhere else in the world.
And that's what IKEA is really known for, having relatively low priced furniture of reasonable quality. And now queue number 2.
For 2 persons here.
Okay, finally through all the queue. Whew, it was kind of tedious. Now let's go explore this place. So the first section that we get to is sort of like a room showcase where you sort of see sort of like already lay out rooms for you so you can get an idea of how you can decorate your room. This is common in all IKEA stores, and it's probably the coolest thing in all of IKEA stores that you get inspiration from this. It really becomes difficult to show these showrooms because there's just way too many people. But I'm trying my best at least to give you a little bit of a glimpse of them at least. So one thing that maybe not many people are aware of, this is just a showroom. Everything here on display is not really for sale, but they have this tag right here, which in the self-serve area, which is usually at the end before the cashier, you can have this, these 2 numbers that you can use for reference. So you have, it's kind of like in SNR. You have the rack, which is the rows, and then a part of the rack is this section here. But usually what I do is just I look for the name, which is displayed here. Oh my goodness, I don't know if this is PlayStation 5 or of cardboard or a Squid Game reference. So now we have entered the general furniture area where you can actually find all of the furniture available in the store. I think there will be more of these showcase sections later on, but I'm not really betting everything on it, but we will see. Because there are bathroom and kitchen sections, while this is just general. So if you want inspiration for those, keep on going, and I hope we will see more there. Now, to be fair, the prices of most of the things are less than expected. So maybe you can get things cheaper here in Philippines than at least in Norway, but we will see more. Some of the prices are less affordable, you could say, but some the smaller things are usually much lower price than in Norway.
Oh, would you look at that?
This one my parents have almost the exact variant of. So I believe most of the things you find in Norway you will also find here. Probably the most popular design from IKEA, or I don't know quite exactly the story about this, but this was at least designed in Scandinavia. I think there was a Norwegian who designed it, but you see, it's a very, very popular design.
In terms of materials kasi.
It's a little bit creaky. So if I'm not mistaken, everything in IKEA is named after something Swedish. So I really am curious to see how people are pronouncing all of these things. This is pronounced
Vittsjö.
So a little bit of backstory about IKEA. It was founded in 1943, I believe, by the late Ingvar Kamprad. And as you can see, his initials, Ingvar Kamprad, forms the two first letters, which is why it's called IKEA. The two other letters, the E is Elmatryd, I think, and then which is the farm he grew up in, and then the A is Agunnaryd, which is the town he also grew up in. He started by first selling mostly pencils, from what my grandmother told me, but I don't remember exactly how accurate that story is. And he eventually moved over to furniture. He was a very entrepreneurial kid. And within just 20 years, this has already become a big conglomerate, opening in Norway and Denmark and Sweden, of course Sweden, in 1963 and so forth. I think he might have been one of the first people, or among the first, who have outsourced furniture manufacturing, which significantly cut down the cost. In addition, I think that is also one of the first business models where the furniture is assembled by the buyer, which makes it more compact and cuts on costs. So how would I rate this so far? I mean, aside from the immense amount of people, there's really no way to tell the difference between this and IKEA at home and in Sweden. So I'm giving it a IKEA out of IKEA so far. This shows that it's not really just for home furniture, also for business furniture. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. The IKEA Marcus. I have this chair at home, yeah, wait. Oh, sorry. This is very comfortable to sit in. Oh, the price is, okay, I'm not the best in math, but it's roughly the same as I bought it in Norway. I think it's around $160, approximately $170, can't really tell. And you can really have this premium feel here. This is typical Scandinavian furniture. Just look at this. Compact. And when you have guests, assemble it. Okay, it turns out that there's multiple of these showcase areas, but they are split into themes. So the first one I think was the general one, and then the second was living room, and now it's the kitchen. And I believe the next one will be bathroom, so just keep looking. Maybe I should close it. Goodbye. So I noticed there is a slight twist here though. In Norway, you usually don't see rice cookers or gas stoves. So this is a more Filipinized version. Okay, so we're in the kitchen, the bathroom section, but from what I see it's not that impressive or whatever you can say, so it's not really something we're going to stick around for too long on. Wow, could you imagine? I would never expect to find something like this in IKEA. Brumland. Very what a surprise, honestly. And now my favorite section, the bed section. If I'm not mistaken, there was this case in China when IKEA opened. This section was littered with people literally falling asleep on the beds. And it was socially acceptable for some reason, so just imagine all these beds are occupied by sleeping people. I believe I have one of these mattresses at home, but I can't exactly recall which one. But it's something in between of being not too soft and not too hard, like a perfect Goldilocks zone for me. This right here is a pretty good idea if you live in a very cramped apartment or condominium. Your office is here, and then up here is your bed. Dream closet, everyone. You just need to churn out a whopping 80,000 peso for this. And for me, I kind of want something like this, which is almost half the price. But my goodness, look at all you get. And now in probably the main section we came for, the drawer section, as we are kind of in need of a dresser for a room. So we're gonna look for one here now. These are very useful, by the way, in case you're short. It's very, I'm not even joking, this is very good to have by the bathroom. Okay, we also wanted to try the IKEA restaurant, which is quite a central part of IKEA. Unfortunately, there's no more capacity. They are completely shut off, so we won't get to experience that this time. For helvete. But as we're going down, we will get to the market hall, which is where basically everything or most of the things in IKEA is located. So this is where we will go now. So, unsurprisingly, it starts off exactly like it does in Norway. It starts with the kitchenware, and then I think it will go over to bathroom, and then general bedroom. I can't really recall everything, but it's, you know, a certain section for each domain or category. So you also have lights, plants, and images. Oh, my childhood incarnated into one single item. Getting out of the kitchen section, there's far less people, not like the human Edsa we saw earlier. I almost forgot to mention about these yellow bags, which we actually got in the beginning. These are very iconic IKEA bags. They're kind of robust, dirt cheap, and reusable in a way. One thing I just noticed is that they're actually playing mostly Swedish house mafia on the speakers. So I hope I'm not going to get copyright claim. Very subtle. Now, although the main route is along these arrows here, you don't really need to go this. If you want, you can actually go through shortcuts, which are these small openings in the store there. So if you want to just go through all of it, you can enter these. Wanna have an efficient way to store all the shit you want to shop it that you don't need? Just buy this one right here. Only 950 peso for a 130-liter box. Just a typical day in IKEA Philippines, you see. This line is ridiculous. It goes here and then all the way over there just to go back all over here. I think, well, we already have experienced a lot of IKEA, so it's not too big of a deal to just skip it for this time. We're thinking of maybe buying these things another time. Welcome to the big rack area, as I like to call it, where most of the things that you need to assemble is located. They're located along these racks over here. But this is mostly the more bulky items, which is where they're located. leads up to the cashier area naturally. So I think it's a good idea that we're skipping this. If you really want to buy, you should just go, but if you don't really want to stay in queue for this long, I highly recommend to come another day when the hype has worn down. And here we have the sort of like a small food court that is always outside the cashier section of IKEA. And what they have here is chicken wings. My goodness, the price is not really bad at all. Ice cream for 10 peso. What? And a hot dog, I mean, that's very... I don't know if it's the the wiener that we have in Norway and Sweden, but I like to give it a try nonetheless. And next to this is some sort of a mini store with food and everything that is packaged. You can get this for quite a reasonable price, so it's worth checking it out as well. But we're not going to do that today, it's too much people now. Here's the ice cream machine, by the way. You just put the cone in there and then it fills it automatically for you. It looks like it's out of order today because, well, to be fair, just look at all those people. So we are done for today. Yeah, it's very hectic here, way too many people. Oh my goodness, there's still people waiting to get in. Oh. They don't know what madness they're putting themselves into. Okay, that wraps about it. To be fair, yes, this really is IKEA of IKEA, I would almost say. I mean, I don't expect all IKEAs to be the same, but this one really brought back a lot of memories for me, to be honest. Very hectic, quite a lot of people, so we didn't get to buy anything, unfortunately, and we didn't really get to try any of the food that they have here, but they seem to have some sort of local specialty. But other than that, I highly recommend you visiting here to experience the Scandinavian furniture style and to decorate your home with quite good quality, but still decently priced furniture. We're probably going to go and give this place another visit, but just a short one to, you know, try the food out. I would say though that there's a few things missing to me. We didn't really find any desk lamps, which is something I was looking for, but unfortunately they don't seem to have it here. So the selection is not really exactly as you would expect in all the stores. But to be fair, considering this is the biggest one, I really thought I would see this here. And yes, this is indeed the biggest IKEA store in the world. But for me, it didn't feel like it was that big. I mean, anything much larger than the ones I've been at. So, well, maybe it has to do with other space. But it really felt like a completely normally sized IKEA. Other than that, well, that's about it for this video. So, see you in the next one.
Alright, let me get this straight. What I said about IKEA earlier, it was just a lie. I couldn't find any ballroom there. 0 out of IKEA. Would not recommend at all. Avoid at all costs.